get this certification about food safety. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, it's called Partners in Health, and it's just only 5% of all Denver food establishment. I think there's over 3,000 actually. 2 or less critical violations in your last 2 inspections. Everyone has to be certified either through ServSafe or the Denver Health Food Department has an online course that you can take. It's actually really good, and it's cheaper than ServSafe. You have to have, you also have to meet, you have to get 50 points of their criteria. So pretty much you get points for, keeping SOP, standing operating procedures, for checklists like making sure you have water, that you're checking your temperature for when you reheat food, holding temperatures for cold food, hot holding temperatures for hot food, time tagging food, just proper food safety.
Yes.
And we are the first food truck, and I'm very honored for us to get that. I really believe in food safety, especially being a food truck. A lot of people think that, food trucks are just roach coaches and that you're not getting quality food and safe food, but that's definitely not the case.
Yeah, not the case with you guys.
Absolutely not.
Well, why don't we take a look inside the food truck, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Alright, so this is the inside of your food truck?
This is the inside of the food truck.
Alright, and so what have you been doing to get this certification? What extra steps have you had to take that maybe other food trucks haven't taken?
It's not too complicated. You just you gotta practice it all the time. You can't just do it, when you first take your certification. And once you know proper food safety, it's just like second nature. Like I said, when you reheat any kind of food, you have to reheat it up to 165. If you're holding food on a steam table, it needs to be held at 135 or higher. And you do that by using an instant read thermometer, or you can use like a battery one like this, or just the bi-probe thermometer works just fine. You need to always have running water with a hot water heater that reaches over 100 degrees. You need to have paper towel and soap on hand. You need to have sanitizer. Gloves to use for ready-to-eat foods, and then you go through it. We also have a checklist that we check off every day that to make sure that we do these things, and we're checking our temperatures, and we're making sure that we have water and soap, and once you do it, it's just like second nature. It's just like learning to tie your shoes or brush your teeth.
Right.
Do it every day. So.
Okay, and if any of you have questions, whether it's about food trucks and food safety, or even just food safety in your home, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about some common things. For instance, is it true that you should not defrost meat out on the counter overnight?
That's absolutely true. In the restaurant world, and this goes for, I know we have regulations, but you being at home and family should do the same thing. There's only a couple methods. The best one is put it in the refrigerator and let it defrost. So plan ahead. If you're pulling something heavy or big, like a turkey or a big chicken breast or something, you want multiple days to let it thaw. That's number one. Number two is you can do it under running water, but it has to be 70 degrees or colder. But, running water, I don't like that one just because it seems it's a waste of water. And then number three, you can do it if you're cooking it. If you're like putting it into boiling water, you can put frozen food into it because it's going to defrost after it cooks.
Yeah.
But those are the only methods that you can thaw.
Okay. And again, if you have questions, just write in your questions. We have Ashley behind the camera, and she will be, there she is, and she will be reading your questions to us. Along the vein of frozen foods, is it true that you shouldn't, if you take food out of the freezer to thaw it, that you shouldn't put it back in if you change your mind?
You don't want to, as long as it's out of the temperature danger zone, that's fine, but the quality of the food, you probably shouldn't thaw something completely and then freeze it again, but as far as health standpoint, it's fine. You want to keep your food out of the temperature danger zone, and the temperature danger zone is between 41 degrees and 134, so that's when the bacteria in food rapidly grow and create foodborne illnesses.
Okay.
So
well, what other you're a chef, and you probably spend plenty of time with other people and they're cooking. What other things do you see in the home that maybe is not so safe that people do?
Cooling food properly, the opposite of thawing out and trying to defrost something. But cooling, let's say you have a big family and you make a big pot of chili or soup or something. A lot of people they'll just put it in the pot right into the fridge, and it's not gonna cool down properly. And cooling, on the other hand, when you have something hot and you need to bring it down from, let's say 200 degrees down to 71 within 2 hours, and from 71 to 41 within another 2 hours. So you have 4 hours to get your boiling soup down to 41 degrees. And if you leave it in a tall stock pot right into your fridge, your fridge at home is going to be small, and it's going to create, the temperature in your fridge is going to go lower. So all your food that's holding at 40 degrees is now getting 40 degrees. Now you're raising the temperature in your fridge, and two, it's just not going to cool properly. If you want to cool it, you put it into a shallower, bigger container. So you put it into like a pan. You want to ice bath it. You set it over ice, or you can put actual ice into your food. Soups, it works like that. Some other things doesn't quite work, but I love using ice in stuff because it just rapidly cools it down.
Yeah. And in case you're hearing the noise, we've got they're cooking in here. You can take a look around and see. So that's the noise you're hearing in the background is there.
What are you making?
I'm making the Irish nachos right now.
Close up.
You want to have me some Brussels out of the fridge there, Jason?
Yeah, we're at it.
So yeah, well, it looks like they are getting really busy as they are starting the lunch hour. So we will let them go, but even after this is over, feel free to send in your questions. Jason is going to be doing a guest vlog for us on food safety, so it's not too late. Send us your questions, and Jason will answer them. Thanks.
Thank you.